Right? So we try to minimize the number of imported cases. We are mentally prepared that number will rise, but we try as far as possible to reduce that. And each time we detect, we contain, we isolate it, and we minimize the chances of this spreading within our own local community. That's what we are aiming to do. So what are the enhanced measures? First, we will extend travel advisory to defer all non-essential travel to the rest of China with immediate effect. We are doing this now because of the latest developments in China, which the China government itself has described as grave, and they have also said the virus is getting stronger and infections will continue to rise. Also, given Singapore's status as an international transport hub, we believe this extended travel advisory is a necessary safeguard against further spread of the virus. Second, we will enhance screening efforts at our air checkpoints. We will deploy thermal scanners at the piers of the airport to cover all incoming flights into Changi Airport. So it will not just be for flights from China, because some travelers may have transited through other countries. For inbound flights from China, we will forward deploy healthcare teams at the aerobridges to identify passengers who look unwell, because fever may not be present for all cases. And there will be signboards clearly displayed at these aerobridges to channel travelers who feel unwell or who have recently been to Hubei to these healthcare teams. Additionally, we will pay attention to PRC travelers holding China passports issued in Hubei. The numbers are coming down because of the outbound restrictions from China itself. But we will monitor closely, and ICA will pull them aside if they are holding such passports, ensure that they are well, and get them to provide all their contact details, and we will continue to keep watch when they are in Singapore. So that's our second measure. Third, we will take extra precautions for those returning from China. And we are doing this now, we are getting ready now, because we fully expect more to come back after the Chinese New Year holidays. So from Tuesday onward, from tomorrow onward, students who return from China will be given a leave of absence for 14 days so that they can stay at home and minimize close contact with others. And Minister Ong, Education Minister, will elaborate further on some of these measures. For working adults returning from China, we advise employers to collect their health and travel declarations from their workers and ensure that they monitor the temperatures daily and see the doctor immediately if they have any symptoms. On top of that, on top of this basic requirement, we will need differentiated measures for different sectors in order to protect the well-being of Singaporeans and also ensure business continuity. So we are deploying a differentiated strategy, and for sectors where there is close and sustained contact with vulnerable groups, including children and the elderly, the employers should institute 14 days leave of absence for their returning workers from the day of return. We have identified 3 sectors where this will apply: in healthcare, education, and elder care. And we will put this measure in place for all government-operated and government-funded entities in these 3 sectors. For the private employers, the relevant government agencies will be following up with them to get these measures implemented. For the other sectors, we would strongly advise employers to keep a close watch over their returning workers and take a risk-based approach depending on the nature of the work. For example, some can arrange for telecommuting to allow their returning employees to work from home first. In fact, our public transport companies have decided to temporarily deploy bus drivers returning from China to non-public-facing jobs for some time until after the incubation period. So there can be different ways to manage the risk, and government agencies will work with the respective business representatives and industry associations to take the appropriate measures, and Minister Chan will also touch on this later on. So these are 3 major moves we are making now. They are appropriate and necessary to protect ourselves. These will not be the end of the measures we make. We will continue to monitor the rapidly evolving situation. As I said just now, it is dynamic and fluid, and we will implement additional measures as necessary. We have no evidence yet of community spread in Singapore. We have no evidence that there is community spread of this virus in Singapore, but it may happen. And if it does, we stand ready to take additional measures. As I said before, and Minister Gan said earlier too, we are putting in place many layers of defense to protect ourselves and to protect Singapore. And the most important defense is still at the individual level. To beat the virus, it is not enough for the government alone to act. Singaporeans must do their part too. Be socially responsible. See a doctor if you are sick, or wear a mask if you are ill to protect those around you, including your family members and loved ones. Practice good personal hygiene. Washing your hands frequently is of utmost importance to minimize the possibility of picking up the virus. It's also important to stay calm and to carry on with our lives.